Let me just say something in the beginning that I really appreciate everything that the Rockefeller Institute has done to educate me in the course of this last year and a half. I appreciate the friendships I've made, which will long survive my temporary duty as Lieutenant Governor. And it is important that people understand that there are some people who think state government is important. Because if one asks me, what are the three things that I have learned that I hadn't fully appreciated before, and that is that state governments generally function in cocoons. They are located rarely in the population centers. And with what's happening particularly to the print media, the amount of coverage of state governments is diminished. And there aren't very many places where state government and state finances are a major subject of academic inquiry. The second thing I learned was that the congressional delegations have very little connection with the problems of a state, because fundamentally there is no member of Congress whose election or re-election is in any way dependent on whether a state balances its budget or doesn't balance its budget. And the third thing that I learned is that I had to have far less rectitude, and some of you will be surprised to hear me say this, far less rectitude about the political system as I watch the scandalous inattention of the seriousness of the problems that we face. And the reason for that is this is very complicated stuff. It's not easy to understand the structure of New York State's debt, this relationship between the sources of our tax revenues and the sources of political campaign finances. And I'm not suggesting impropriety, I'm just suggesting both in an inadequate amount of transparency and the fact that political spending has gone up faster than the state budget's gone up in the last 10 or 12 years. That tells you something. And you've got to have some understanding for the fact that to get, I don't care what the system is, or who draws the districts, or what party it is, to get bright young people to be willing to go into politics today with the disincentives of having to ask for money from the very people who have the greatest interest in the outcome of what they do, there being very few other sources for money to run campaigns, for having to be willing to be characterized by the press as a general rule as being either crooks or knaves or fools. Certainly you know that the public impression of our legislature is that they are bad people or stupid people or some combination. And I don't believe that to be true. I have developed a friendship and acquaintanceship with enough of them to know that the overwhelming majority cares. A lot of them don't have the experience or even the intellectual equipment to understand the complexity of the problems that we face. And but it doesn't mean that they should be the subject of rectitude. So those are the things that I've learned that one doesn't really get an opportunity to talk about, and has nothing to do with the conversation on the bar. But I just, this is a time to be absolutely candid, and I particularly want to thank you all for here, and I'm not saying goodbye because I don't want to stay in touch. So.